Hello, hello, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Court, and this is Conscious Connections. I really want to talk to you about being in your body and what that really means. And a theme that I really notice with my clients, especially with women, is it feels really unsafe for us to be in our bodies. And what I mean by that is it's uncomfortable. So if you have a hard time being still, if you have a hard time sitting with your own thoughts, if you have a hard time being able to recognize what you are feeling, what you're sensing, if it's hard for you to put into words, then it's probably not easy for you to be in your body. You probably don't have a great connection or relationship with your body because at some point it was unsafe to do so, and that has continued on. And we also live in a society that doesn't really allow us or teach us how to process and express our emotions healthily. So there's a lot of conditioning around not expressing your emotions at all, for men especially, but also for women. Yes, we are more accepted to cry and, talk things out. We like to talk, we like to communicate, but at the same time, we're not really allowed to show anger. Women aren't really allowed to be angry or assertive or direct, right? There's conditioning around that you're a bitch or you're mean or you're insensitive or you're cold if you're direct and assertive. As well as the conditioning around showing emotions is weakness. So women feel that too. Like, sure, we might be able to cry at a drop of a hat to a movie, but to actually be vulnerable and say, hey, I'm struggling right now, really tough to do for most of us, okay? So there's a lot around not feeling safe in your body. And it's really, really important for us to have a good relationship with our bodies and to tune in and listen because our bodies are sending us messages constantly. And if we don't listen, then they start screaming. Okay? And that manifests into disease when we aren't listening. Okay? So one thing that's kind of happened that in the world is that we've given all of our power away. We have been taught and conditioned that if something's going on with your body that you don't know what it is and you need to go and seek somebody else to help you and somebody else to tell you what is wrong. And I'm not saying that we don't need doctors or we don't need help or we don't need medicine people. Of course we do. That's absolutely true. But a lot of things can be addressed on our own first, okay? So instead of running to somebody else to ask them what they think it is, taking a moment to go inside and ask yourself what's going on, what wants to be seen, what wants to be heard. I'm sure, sorry if you can hear that, I'm sure you can think of times when there's been something going on in your body and you had an idea of what it was, like it probably is this. I feel like it's this. And you went to a practitioner and that's exactly what it was. Okay? Because we have an innate wisdom. We also store emotions in our body. So every disease, every discomfort that you have is not just physical. Nothing is just one. Everything is connected. So mind, body, spirit. So physical, emotional, energetic, mental. These are all different compartments that are all layers packed on to every single thing. Everything is connected. So when you have a pain in your body or a discomfort or a disease, there is an emotional component to that because, and I'll explain why. When you don't have any emotional trauma and when your body is optimal, so we're talking about children now most of the time, right? Children, okay? They heal so fast. They have all of this energy. It's just wild, okay? And it's because they have a clear flow of energy. Life force energy comes in the top, enters our crown, goes all through our body, and goes into the ground. Okay, this is life force energy. Life force energy is the energy that makes you grow and it helps you breathe. It's that intelligence. It's the same intelligence that grows forests and like creates perfect balance in our worlds. Okay, that is within you. You don't have to think about breathing. You don't have to tell your body to heal. You don't have to tell your body to digest your food. You don't have to tell your body to grow. You don't have to tell your body to do those things. Your body has its own intelligence, okay? And part of that is the information that's coming from the energy of source or God or whatever you want to, whatever you call it, okay? We're encompassing this all here. So what happens is throughout our lives, when we have physical traumas, emotional traumas, mental traumas, all of these things create energetic blocks. So now if you have, a limiting belief or a fear locked in your body, because what happens is we have these big emotional impacts that happen, the first time that you really feel a negative emotion. And this happens in positive too. Like the first time you ever fell in love, you'll never forget that, right? You'll never forget that feeling. But at the same time, the positive memories that we have in our body don't create blockages, okay? They are expansive. It's the negative experiences that we have that if we don't process properly, kind of create like a scar, right? A trigger, or as well as an emotional block. So now you have life force energy that's a little bit tainted from this unresolved, not tainted, blocked from this unresolved emotion. Okay? So now the energy's like trying to get through, and here's this emotion that hasn't been processed. Okay, let's say you lost a family member when you were young. Let's say it's grief. We'll just go with grief. Okay, and you were too young to really process it and it got stuck there. And as you grow up and you could have an abandonment wound from this loss. Okay, so now you have a fear that people are going to leave you, they're going to be taken from you. This is all subconscious, this is all underneath. And if you continue to not process this and not get rid of this, it can manifest in your relationships, right, as an abandonment wound, which can cause you to self-sabotage. But that's for another video. But basically, this left under time over time with repeated things that confirm your belief, make this more blocked. And when it's left undealt with, it can manifest into disease. Just like when you cry and you're sad and it manifests into a physical release of a tear, we can get a physical mass or disease or a dysfunction in our body. Our bodies become at war at ourselves. And it's really interesting because science is just starting to show up and say that our emotions have a big impact on our biology, okay? That autoimmune disease, number one cause is stress and unprocessed emotions. Thank you. Please, we really need to recognize this, okay? So when you start to tune in and you start to ask yourself to go in there and say what needs attention. This really great analogy is like when your little child wants your attention and you don't give it and you're on the phone and you're busy. What does the child do? Starts yelling and getting louder. And if you still don't listen, what does he do? He starts throwing books and ripping everything off the shelf and just like destruction. And that's what our bodies do. Okay, so number one, why this is really important is to start to process any stagnant energy out of your body before it manifests into disease or discomfort, okay? And process it and get it out so the energy can flow, so that we can be optimal, so that we can heal, okay? And another reason that we really, really, really need to have a good relationship with our bodies is because that's how our higher selves speak to us. That's how spirit speaks to us. It speaks through us. That's how our higher selves, our intuition, okay, our gut instincts, these are all like energetic signals that come through our body that are guiding us in this life for on our unique path, for our unique soul, for our unique blueprint, for our unique experience that we have had. We are all different and no one belongs in any box, okay? There is no one path that looks the same as anyone else's. There is no one diet that is right for every single body. There is no one formula for how you should move through your day, week, month, year. These are all unique experiences for our each individual path on this life. And so you have to have a relationship with your body in order to know what is good, what is meant for you, and what isn't. Because if you are not listening to your body, if you aren't listening to the signals, if you aren't in tune with your navigational compass, your navigational guide, that is a beautiful gift. Your intuition, your higher self, your angels, your God, your source, your universe, your creator, whatever it is, it all speaks to you through your body, through your vessel. Okay? Through again, your gut instincts, through expansion and contraction, through those truth bumps that you get when you hear words of truth, of knowing, through impressions, okay? I get impressions in my body because I'm an empath and I pick up people's energy, what they're feeling, what they're knowing. Sometimes I'll get such a strong emotion or energy coming at me in my field, it almost produces like a picture, or it produces like how a daydream feels. Sometimes I'll get that. It's just like, I want to say it's a vision because I see it in my third eye, but for newbies here who are just, becoming in this world, I'm not seeing it in my head. I didn't say, oh, I'm trying to picture a blue car. For me, it almost comes up through my chest, through my heart, and it's a feeling. And then that feeling shows me a picture, okay? Or a snapshot or a little movie or like something. Analogies, like it's all, energy is really hard to put in words and it shows up differently for everyone. But it comes through the body, okay? At the very end of what I'm trying to say and the message that I'm trying to convey is it is essential for all of us to have a beautiful, open, loving relationship in communication with our body, okay? And you can try right now. You can see how your intention and how powerful your intention and mindfulness can be, that you can actually change your physiological state just through a breath and through words. So taking a moment to close your eyes, breathe in, connect with yourself, 3 deep breaths, do it right now. Breathing in, breathing out, 2 more times, just breathing, relaxing into the body, and reminding yourself, for this moment, you have nowhere to be, nowhere to go. You're taking 1 moment. Reaching stillness, scanning your body, and finding an area of tightness, okay? Where are you holding stress today? Where are you holding stress? Maybe it's in your shoulder blades. Maybe it's in your traps. Maybe it's in the tension in the back of your neck, just underneath your skull. Okay, and focusing on one of those areas. Breathing in and asking yourself, what emotion is stored here? And the first response that comes to your mind is the answer. Before your logical mind comes in, that first response, is it grief? Is it sadness? Is it anger? Okay? Don't question it. That's what it is. And if your logical mind comes in and tries to tell you that you're being silly and this is ridiculous, say thank you. I don't need you right now. I'm quite all right, right? Because your mind is just trying to keep you safe, just trying to keep you from not feeling any pain, okay? And not feeling any discomfort. And this can be uncomfortable. So now that you've asked yourself and you've explored what is here, breathe in with intention to release. So as you breathe in, imagine breathing air into that tense spot. And as you fill up your lungs, you're creating space in this tension. Okay, breathing in. Expanding in that space, creating room, and breathing out, and in your mind saying, I release it, I release, I release, and let it all go. And breathe out as big as you can, as far as your belly button can go into the back of your spine. 2 more times, 3 times I want you to do this. Okay, breathing in, creating space, and breathing out and releasing it all. Breathing in, creating space. Breathing out tension, releasing it all. Breathing out stress. Okay? And now notice. Has anything shifted? Is it a little bit lighter? Is it a little bit less tense here? Do you feel a bit more relaxed? A bit more at ease? This is a very powerful practice, and it's so simple. Many of our basic spiritual hygiene and care for ourselves is very simple. That doesn't mean it's easy, it's just simple, and it's a practice, okay? So just know that if this is hard for you, this is a hard time, if this is uncomfortable, you are not the only one. So many of us feel this way, okay? But know that you have control. You have more control than you think. Like, your disease is not just genetic, okay? I'm not saying that it's not genetic. I'm not saying that genes do not play a part, okay? Again, like I mentioned before, there's multiple layers layered to everything. But what happens is, when we have a weakness, when we have one of those emotional scars or those traumas where we have those energy blockages, that is where you become susceptible to disease, okay? So for instance, breast cancer is really related to the mother line, okay? It can be really related to your relationship with your mother or your grandmother, and the line throughout there, how you are with your sisters, all of this stuff. So if there's pain there, if there's a bad relationship, a negative relationship, if there's a lot of trauma there and it's not dealt with, now you have a weak spot, okay? Now you have a vulnerability. And if you have cancer in your family and you're not dealing with this emotional pattern, then yes, your chances of getting it are increased. So genetics play a part, but what I want to bring to your attention is there's also other factors that if you help deal with them, your chances of just inheriting this because of your genetics, because you know what else is genetic? You know what else is passed down through generations? Trauma, limiting beliefs, emotional damage, okay? I could go on about that forever. I don't have enough time in this video. I don't want to keep you guys long, but I just want you to just stress enough. I can't stress enough how important it is to be in tune with your body. Your body tells you what's for you and what's not. It tells you what food is for you. It tells you what people are for you. It tells you what job is for you. It tells you what area, what environment is for you, what scents are for you, okay? What products, so you can start to go in and see when something is aligned, your body will expand, your heart will open. So notice when you're around people, is your body expanding? Do you want to hug them? Watch your own body language, or are you crossing your arms? Are you hiding a little bit? Are you a little bit uncomfortable playing with your face? Your body is telling you because it's reading energy, okay? It's not from your mind, it's from your energy. And energy is what we should all be focusing on because it does not lie. Frequency does not lie. Okay, I'm going to end this video now. Please tell me if this resonates. And I hope this finds you well. And I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bless.